Adam here from the Walzer Automotive Group, and what I want to do today is take you on a test drive. So next to me here, I have a 2025 Mazda CX-70. So we'll look at the trim options, some of the interior, exterior, and then see what it's like out on the road. Okay, so now we're behind the wheel of the 25 CX-70, and this is the 3.3 turbo with the premium package. So there's a lot of different trim levels. There's the CX-90, which is going to be the third row version of this, and then the CX-70. So between these, there's a few different engine options, so we'll cover some of that stuff when we're driving around. But to start with, what do we always have with us? Our cell phones, right? So this one's going to have wireless charging, and it's got wireless Apple CarPlay as well as Android Auto. I've got my phone hooked up. It's amazing. It's two 12.3-inch displays. It makes it very easy and safe when you're on the go. But again, we'll touch on that in a little bit. So let's put it in drive, go for a spin around. Now, this particular Mazda, like the name says, is the 3.3 inline turbocharged engine. So what's great about these Mazda SUVs is that all of them come standard with all-wheel drive. There's no front-wheel drive Mazda SUVs anymore, so it's going to be great for the Minnesota winters, and fuel economy is surprisingly good for a vehicle of this size. You're looking at about 28 mpg on the highway, and that's with, again, the all-wheel drive system. So this particular one gets 280 horsepower. You can also get a turbo that's going to have 340 horsepower. So if you want a little bit more get up and go, there's a few different engine options to be looking at, or there is a PHEV, which is going to be the plug-in hybrid electric one. So I think if the fuel economy trade-off for the hybrid, or you want that charging, that is definitely going to be there, but it does carry a little bit higher of a price tag. Now, how about the ride and drive? So like I said, with the all-wheel drive and the turbocharged engine, the torque and pickup is instant. It's right away, and it's very easy and comfortable to be behind the wheel and eat up a lot of miles. I've driven a lot of these CX-90s and CX-70s now, and the big thing to me is just how much luxury you're getting at this price point. So it's important to know this premium package with the turbo is going to come in right at $48,000. So there's a lot of different ways to load these up. If you want less equipment or more equipment, I think the premium package with the 3.3 turbo is a pretty good sweet spot. Now let's start with the exterior. So this is the rhodium white metallic, and it is gorgeous. It's a stunning looking vehicle, especially with the premium package when you get the 21-inch blacked out wheels. You've got the blacked out mirror caps, the door handles, and the black roof rails up above. It just has a really good look to it. Now, the 21-inch wheels do come with an all-season tire, and there's a couple different wheel options, but this seems to be the most common wheel option. There's also kind of the silver and black ones, depending on which trim level you're looking at. But again, I think this is one of my favorite ones I've seen so far. There's also the Zircon color that's really cool, and the melting copper that's only going to be found on the CX-70. So, back to the inside in the driver's seat. This is definitely a place where you could eat up a lot of highway miles. Now, let's start with some of the safety features. Blind spot monitoring, emergency braking. This particular one has the heads-up display as well, so it's going to show you your cruise control. It would show you your miles per hour. There's a bunch of really cool stuff that's going to help keep you, and obviously if your family's in the vehicle, very safe when you're on the road. But one of my favorite features is the adaptive cruise control. So you can set 4, 3, 2, 1 car length distances ahead of you, and it's going to keep that distance when you're on the road. So if you're doing those cabin trips, or if you're just doing a lot of highway driving, I love that feature. It makes it very convenient and easy to, like I said, eat up a lot of miles. One of the other cool things with this premium package is the fully digital LCD cluster here. So the gauge cluster, it's great. When you set to the cruise control, it actually flips and the screen moves around. When you change the drive modes, it adjusts. It's really cool, and it's crystal clear, and it's not overly bright. Some of the bright displays can be kind of blinding at night, but this one I think is perfect. So it's really just your pertinent information there. On the right side, you can change if you click the info button. So you've got kind of your basic trip computer, your eye active sense stuff, but for the most part, it's really clean and very, very well laid out. Now on the infotainment screen, like I said, with the Apple CarPlay, that rules. I love having the wireless CarPlay in here, text messaging, Google Maps, Spotify. It's all just built right into there. And again, it all comes down to safety. You don't have to touch your phone when you're on the go, and that is definitely nice. You can just leave it on the wireless charger and you're good to go. Now, that is a touchscreen, so you can actually reach up. If you want, you can change the settings to have it when you're moving, but when you're stopped, it's a touchscreen. And then down here on the controller, you can use this when you're on the go, because that's obviously safer, so that's the way Mazda wants it set up. But for the most part, the backup camera in there is great as well. I mean, it makes it so easy to park, especially because this is a little bit of a larger SUV, but as you work your way through the lineup, you can also do the full bird's eye or 360 view backup camera, so that's really cool as well. Now, a few other things with the premium package. This one gets the HomeLink kind of frameless rear view mirror here, so that you can program your garage door to, or it's auto dimming, so you're not gonna get blinded at night. Now, this also adds the 12-speaker Bose sound system. So when I had my Spotify hooked up with the CarPlay earlier, blasting some tunes, it does make a big difference from over just the bass system, and I think the Bose is one of those worthy upgrades. Plus, this one does get the sunroof up above, and we didn't even touch on the seats. So there's a few different seating options when you're looking at the CX-70s. This particular one does give you heated seats, so that's gonna be for the driver and the passenger. And if you work your way through the lineup, there's gonna be heated steering wheel, you can do ventilated seats, heated and ventilated second rows as well. So that is pretty cool there. Now, as we put it into park, this one does have a hands-free power liftgate and the storage space. So like I said, the difference between the CX-70 and the CX-90 really breaks down to being that third row. So this one, instead of having a third row back there, has a huge storage area, and then you get underfloor storage as well. So you can access that from the back or from the second row. You can fold it up once to get some storage, fold up again, and there's even more storage in there. Now, that second row, the seats do fold. So if you want to move the seats forward or back, you can slide them as well. So there's a lot of ways to haul stuff with if you're not bringing people. It's a 60-40 split seat, so you can fold one side to the other. It's really cool. Now, overall, the ride and drive is excellent. Like I said, this is the lower horsepower version too. So this is just the 280 horsepower. You can go up to the 340 horse, so you get way more pickup and get up and go. There's a little bit of a sacrifice with fuel economy with that, but I mean, overall, I think this is more than enough. For 95% of the time, you gotta think, are you flooring it or do you want better fuel economy? So there's a good trade-off there. I love the technology infotainment in here. I love the availability of the different trim levels. So if you want red leather in the CX-70, you could do that. You can get the Napa leather. There's so many ways to configure these, but overall, the general luxury doesn't change. Things like the sunroof and the seats and the layout, it's all just so nicely presented. You could throw someone the keys, they can hop in here and know exactly what's going on, and that's what I love about the Mazdas. So again, overall, the ride and drive is very comfortable. I think the outside, the exterior look on this vehicle is great. Mazda always just does such a good job with the design language in here, the ease of use of all the technology, and the price point. The average new car price in America is $48,000. This vehicle is $48,000, but you're getting things like the wireless CarPlay and the heated seats, and there's so much good stuff built into these vehicles that I think if you're in the market for an SUV, whether it's the CX-90 in the third row or the CX-70 without that third row, there's so much that Mazda offers. You gotta get out, take one for a spin, and see what you think. Now, that was just a quick look and drive at the 2025 Mazda CX-70. So if you have any other questions or you'd like to schedule a test drive for yourself, you can visit us online at walser.com or stop by anytime. We'd be more than happy to help. Thanks for watching.